Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a 2-page layout using the Sun Chaser collection from Heidi Swapp. I love how versatile this collection is for me. I love how there are kind of more girly colors and then more masculine colors, because it's just nice to be able to scrapbook both me and my kids from the same collection. So I just love kind of these aqua teal colors of the collection. I am going to be using a close to my heart stencil here, you can see, and I went into my stash to kind of figure out what colors would work best with the collection. So I went through all of you can see all my swatches there of all my Distress Oxides, and I finally picked 2 of them. I believe one was probably Speckled Egg, and then one was a darker blue. But this stencil here is great. I have not used the waves yet, so I was a little nervous with just kind of jumping right in and doing it. I chose to do the lighter color first, and then I went through. Oh, I did not a darker blue. It was kind of more of an aqua, a teal. So I figured out that the stencil actually lines up. I guess to continue on with the waves, it lines up next to each other. When I move this though, you will be able to see kind of the overlap. So I need to kind of figure that out. You can see that there's a line kind of over, I don't know, I guess down the waves. And I try to kind of fix it there, but it is what it is. And for the most part, I cover it up. I did not clean my brush in between each of the colors for this in particular. Usually I probably would have. However, I figured, I'm trying to get different shades of kind of aqua and teal anyways, so it didn't really matter if I clean my brush or not. And then I tried to... I guess I don't know if I'll be able to explain it. So on page 1, I started with the stencil on the left-hand side and then was able to line it up. I was a little nervous when I did this page that it wouldn't line up, but it does. I finally was able to figure out where it lined up at. So it will kind of line up on either side of the stencil, which is nice. And again, I had not figured out still how to kind of not have that line in between. You can see that page is very distinct, how it's kind of the line down the middle. So once I'm done with the blending of the waves, I'm just going to tape down the paper, and I decided to bring in some of that black that was the back side of that paper. However, I ripped the wrong sheet. I realize it right now. I ripped the wrong piece of it. Luckily, the piece I was supposed to rip for the backside was wide enough to cover up, I guess, where the waves kind of end. And I was able to, use the black on that as well, just to kind of bring in that. I am going to have 2 photos on page 1 and then 4 photos on page 2. So I'm kind of gonna just do a lot of overlapping with my photos on page 2. There are 2 in particular that I kind of wanted to stand out more than the rest, and so I left those larger, and you can see those, and then I cut down the other ones. So the photos are from when we went to Florida in 2021. We took a fishing charter out into the middle of the ocean, and we were gone for 8 hours. My youngest is not into fishing, and so I just brought his tablet because I did not want to miss out on my oldest fishing, because that's just one of his passions for sure. So Eli had his tablet all of 8 hours, never once complained, and all was well. Luckily, there was food, drinks on there. And then you can see that other photo. He did actually fall asleep at the table on our way back into shore. So I just wanted to kind of bring those kind of funny photos in as well to kind of document his adventure, I guess, so to speak, of the fishing charter, because it was not his cup of tea, but he never once complained. So I am just going to double back the photo that's going to be kind of on top, and you can see I did pop that up onto some foam tape, and then I did back the top photo on page 2 as well. The other two I didn't. They kind of are overlapping the white space, and so I didn't feel like I needed it. Plus, I didn't want them really any larger than they already were, I guess. So then back on page 1, I am going to just double back one of the photos and leave the other one just with white. Looking back now, I maybe should have done 2, only because I backed it in white and it's the top of it at least is laying on white paper. So adding some color there maybe would have helped it stand out a little bit more. I guess you can kind of, I don't know if the white papers are different brands, but you can see that the one that I backed the photo in seems to be a little bit brighter anyway, so that helps draw the photo out to you a little bit more. I had this cut apart, like I said, I wanted to document his adventures on the water, because it wasn't a normal fishing charter day for him. And so I knew I wanted kind of a larger journaling piece, and so I cut apart that bottom piece and then rounded the edges. But then I had to kind of figure out where I wanted to place it. I thought I wanted it on page 1, but didn't really like the way that that looked. And wanted to use the Weekend Fun puffy sticker title here, and love the way that that looked actually underneath the photos on the waves. So now I thought about having that at the top there, which honestly just, I don't know what I was thinking. I do end up moving it, but just did not the place for it. So I do end up moving it to page 2 down at the bottom, and I do like the way that looks. Then I'm going to go back and actually stencil, use the same stencil, but use the sun and the birds, and I just like the way that that ends up looking as well. Like I said, this is the first time I've used this stencil. I've used the outdoors one. It comes in a set of 3. One is kind of outdoorsy, there's the summery one, and then I think there's like a vacation one. And so I've used the outdoorsy one for a title. It's actually a layering stencil, and there's 3 different pieces, I guess, 3 different layers of the title, which is really fun. I'll try to link that layout up above so you can kind of see how that looks. The title is Explore, and so I just figured that is one that I'll probably use quite often. So again, just blending in, trying to get around the birds. I do end up using 2 different shades of yellow. You can't really see too well when I'm all done with it, but there is some variation of color, just not a lot. I decided to make the birds gray, and I don't think I cleaned my brush for this one either. So some of the birds on page 2 here, I'm going to add some around here, actually end up looking a little yellow. I guess there's some yellow gray. These ones at the top really have some yellow and gray tones to them. But again, it's just kind of fun just to play around with, and just variation of color again. So I done with the base layout. Now it was just kind of embellishing. I knew page 2 would be fairly simple because there's so many photos. It's so busy. So I found these really cute clouds, popped this one up on some foam tape for the top, just to kind of add to the whole scene, I guess. And then I loved that Fun in the Sun sticker, so I'm going to use that over there to kind of be the main focus of that cluster. Found some more clouds, so I am going to add those to page 1. Kind of wish I would have added more, so maybe I'll go back and see if I have any more clouds and maybe add a couple more towards the top. Oh, actually there's a lot of clouds right there. I might have to go back and add some to this. So I found this Sunshine State of Mind, which I thought was perfect because Florida, I believe, is the Sunshine State. If you're from Florida, I'm sorry if I got that wrong. But I liked the way that that looked, and I kind of angled that, and that's kind of going to be the focus of that cluster. I have so many embellishments from this collection, so it was just a matter of figuring out what would work where. The sticker book is great. I love that. So I was able to add that little sun to the right cluster with a heart, and then kind of work my way through the sticker book, adding different pieces. And then some of them are clear stickers. So I wanted to kind of see how that would work on pattern paper or kind of darker paper. So I did add a clear sticker sun to my title at the bottom. And then there's these amazing phrase stickers. These are kind of more on the clear side, but I love how they incorporate all the different colors, and the sayings were just perfect for this layout. So I did end up using 3 different colors, kind of going down the page, I guess, of the sticker book. So kind of starting with a darker, going down into the lighter, and then ending with a yellow. So then I added a clear sticker to the right cluster as well, and then just kind of went around. I needed something else on page 2, I felt like, and I had this Spectrum, or oh, now I can't think of the name. It's Sherbert something, from 49 Market, and the colors match perfectly with the Sun Chaser collection. So I grabbed that out and found a ticket, and then just added some puffy stickers to that to make that into just a simple cluster, but just to add a little bit more to page 2. So I added a dreamer, which I thought was so cute since he's taking a nap, a heart, and then a half a circle that says enjoy, and then just finished by adding kind of some puffy hearts and just hearts in general all over the layout. I added a cluster of 3 to the top cluster, and then finished off with the title. There's a cluster of 3 there. So that is going to finish off this layout. I will link the Sun Chaser collection down below, and then that 49 Market collection as well. And then I will also link the stencil for you if you are interested in that. I would love your support. With any and all purchases, I definitely appreciate it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.